sense of not being in a relationship.
She found potential partners online.
She felt more or less, hey, I think I found my match.
You're almost too good to be true.
She felt like she was being followed. She saw him at work, and she saw him near her home. We found out that this guy was living a lie. She was trying to figure out what exactly did he do? What type of guy is this?
And the police didn't know who to believe.
Just leave.
It was not what he wanted to hear. There was no going back.
Everybody was just like, what? What happened? It came down to this?
What is it?
She was making sure that she gets justice. She knew she was going to die.
The surveillance camera captured the audio, the horrifying screams.
I know who did it.
I'm bleeding to death.
Tiana Angelique Notice was gorgeous. She could light up a room for real, like not just saying it.
Tiana looks like an angel, and she looked just like Princess Tiana that Disney created. She was very beautiful inside and out. She had a great sense of humor. She was kind. She was loving. She was always trying to do the right thing, which is a rare quality nowadays.
She graduated from the University of Hartford with a degree in government and politics. And then she sought her master's degree.
She said, I'm going to be a lawyer. And everything that she did was leading her to that.
Smart, accomplished, beautiful. Everything seems to come naturally to Tiana Notice. The one thing that's eluded her is love.
She had many friends. She got along very well with her coworkers. And, her family is amazing as well. But she was lonely in a sense of not having a companion, in a sense of maybe not being in a relationship.
Online dating was picking up, and she said, oh, the internet. And that's what she did.
Tiana met James Carter online.
He was very funny. He's very charismatic, he was just a good-hearted person that always did a lot more for other people than he did for himself. He didn't need to go online to find a girlfriend or anything like that. No, he didn't. Because all the girls liked him in high school, middle school, his entire life. Women were after him. He would just crack jokes on you and have you in tears. Just big jokes to big pranks to big teaser. He's very excited. She's a pretty girl. She's got her life together. She's going to school. Seemed completely different from a lot of girls that he dated, all the crazy ones. And we all thought they would say, yes, he finally got a normal one.
Wow, that snow came out of nowhere.
I know.
Okay.
All right.
You good? You not wet, are you?
No, I'm good. Thanks for being a gentleman with your coat.
Oh, it's nothing. So, let me ask you a question.
Yeah?
Now that we've seen each other in person, are you disappointed?
What? No. Are you?
What? No, not at all.
James was an executive at an insurance company. He was well-to-do, and women like to feel stable. He definitely provided that type of stable life from what it appeared to be.
He was smooth. He was a good-looking guy. Smart, well-dressed, hardworking. You know, and the ladies loved him.
So, how is it that you're actually single?
I can ask you the same thing.
Well,
I think he was not just attracted to her beauty, but also intellectually, socially. He had the personality like.
good night.
Good night.
Good service. Yeah. Good service. I said nice service, don't you think?
What? Yeah, of course. Yeah. It was great. Especially the part when you were singing.
She was involved in a choir in church as well, and she never stopped being involved in the church.
Tiana loved church. She was there every week.
That was the best part. I'd come every Sunday for that.
He was raised up in the church. We were raised Catholic, so we were altar servers and everything. So we grew up in the church.
That really appealed to Tiana. So she felt more or less, hey, I think I found my match.
What is it?
I gotta take this. Hello? Yeah, I can talk. Are you sure? No. You said that this wasn't gonna happen. Just do it.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, it was just work. Everything's fine. Come on. I'm sorry. What was I saying before?
You were telling me I sound like an angel.
Oh, yeah.
When Tiana was talking to me about James, she said he was definitely a provider. He was doing things for her.
T,
What?
what's going on with your tires? There's no tread on them.
I believe James did listen to her because he got what she needed. As Tiana needed tires, she drove a lot to school and back to work. Tires could be a little expensive when you're a college student working part-time.
It's not safe, all right? Let's go buy you some new tires.
James, I don't have money for that.
I do, okay?
James!
James never had a problem with money, so he would always provide money, making sure she had gas money, make sure that she had anything that she needed.
You're almost too good to be true.
It seemed to validate everything that he was telling her about how responsible he was.
I believe Tiana saw a well-rounded black male that was successful, had his own house, had his own car. James definitely tried to upgrade her life, and Tiana used it.
Tiana was a person that she always had friends.
Man, it's gonna be a grind. Oh, here's my ride. I'll see you Wednesday. Catch you later.
Who was that?
Ray? He's my friend from class.
Friend.
He was jealous of anyone that kind of wanted time with Tiana. He kind of wanted her to himself. That's how it appeared.
And Tiana is about to learn that James has been hiding something else from her.
Hello? James? Oh, you scared me.
We have to talk.
James?
Tiana thinks she's found the perfect man in James,
Oh, you scared me.
but he's got a secret that might change everything about their relationship.
We have to talk. I thought that this would just go away and that you would never even have to know.
James told Tiana that he was arrested because his ex-girlfriend.
She told the police that I hit her. I didn't.
James swears it's all just a lie told by a vindictive ex. He fought the charges but lost, and now he will have to go to jail.
She found out about him going to jail probably about 3 or 4 months into the relationship.
T, does that sound like something that I would do?
Tiana was more shocked when she found out James had to go to jail because it made her question who he was as a person. She didn't see that domestic side of him, that physical abuse. She was a bit worried because she was trying to figure out what exactly did he do? You know, like what type of guy is this?
Just wait for me.
Tiana really wanted to find the good in people, and she wasn't judgmental.
Oh, okay.
She probably took it at face value that what he was telling her was accurate.
So James went off to jail.
Sorry about that.
I don't think Tiana was thinking much about the relationship while he was in prison, to be honest. She was very actively involved in other activities.
That includes going out on the occasional date. After all, it's James who's locked up, not her.
Hey, it's me. I thought we were gonna talk tonight, but
Tiana definitely wasn't mopey. She had the type of bounce back attitude.
listen, I don't know where you are right now, and this is the only time that I get on the phone. So, I'll talk to you later, I guess.
She didn't seem like she was like holding back, waiting for James to fix up whatever he wanted to fix up.
And sometimes men, we got egos, we got a lot of pride, and we just don't listen.
James was very upset because he thought that everything that he provided was definitely going to keep her, you know, comfortable. Like, he definitely thought that she wasn't going to go anywhere.
Robert, you scared me.
sorry. I wanted it to be a surprise.
Mission accomplished.
Robert is Tiana's former boyfriend. He's been out of town and out of her life.
Robert definitely brought out a different side to Tiana. They had a lot in common. They had the choir, they had the band, they had the University of Hartford connection. I believe they were together for probably almost 3 years, and they met when she was probably like a sophomore. Tiana and Robert had such a good relationship in the beginning that it was hard for her to let him go, so they remained friends for a very long time. And he still loved her.
But it was always in everybody's mind that they would eventually get back together. Being young adults, I mean, that's sometimes what you do is you drift apart and then life will, find its way for them to get back together.
So, are you feeling better?
Robert had a spell of depression, and he basically needed to be alone to get himself back together. So he moved back home just to get things together.
I'm fine. Ready to get back to life.
He had hopes of them getting back together because even though he had like a little rough patch, he was coming back out of it and knows that he could be successful, as soon as he gets over his issues.
So, you seeing anyone these days?
No. Nobody special.
Hey, I thought you were gonna be here to pick me up. Guess not.
While James was in jail, Rob and Tiana hung out. I don't think that she told James that she was seeing her ex-boyfriend.
Where were you?
James, something just came up.
You were seeing someone else while I was inside, weren't you?
Tiana decided that it was time to break up with James.
James, this isn't working for me.
Oh, but it is working with someone else. Who is it? Tell me.
James, I'm not getting into that with you.
This relationship is not going to continue on anymore. So in her mind, it was over.
Why are you even asking?
And once Tiana makes up her mind about anything, she's firm with it. And I knew from what I've learned that there was no going back.
James, it's over.
In his mind, Tiana is the catch that he wants, and therefore she's the girl for him. And so I imagine it was, to him, was not what he wanted to hear.
But he felt like he did a lot for this girl. He was emotional over it. He was hurt.
James was upset that they were breaking up. He did not take it very lightly.
James, just leave, please.
I'm not going anywhere.
James, you're hurting me. Let go.
And that's, when she knew what kind of man James was. And it was the complete opposite of what he told her of who he was.
Everybody was just like, what? What happened? It came down to this?
After an argument, Tiana has broken things off with James. Her former boyfriend Robert is quick to take advantage of the opportunity. But even when she's with him, she feels like James is there too.
Earth to tea.
Sorry, it's not you at all.
Tiana felt like she was being followed. James started being kind of stalkerish. He started popping up places.
It's him, isn't it?
She told him to stop contacting her, stop calling me, we're done. So when you say you're done, you want it to be done. I don't think that James understood over. I don't think so.
Yo, T, just say the word.
No, I don't want you to do anything.
James was doing all the calling. And there was one night that he called from 8 o'clock that night till 8 o'clock the next morning.
He tried to say that he loved her and I want you back and this, that, but Tiana made up her mind. She saw crazy, and she was like, I'm gonna get away from crazy. She thought she saw him at work, and she thought she saw him near her home. I feel like he was playing the like chess, like, okay, let me go ahead and try to stump her up, you know, let her know that she really can't go anywhere but with me.
After the breakup, Tiana was receiving emails from somebody named Jessica Banderas. And she supposedly was James's new girlfriend. The emails are really harassing in nature, and they're even threatening.
This Jessica Banderas kept writing to her. One wanted her to leave her man alone. She just couldn't understand why Jessica was writing to her.
This person who was James's new girlfriend was trying to intimidate Tiana.
And it's working. The mysterious emails have Tiana on edge.
These are the emails I was telling you about. Please tell me you're going to do something about this.
I believe the cops took it as something that they may routinely see. You know, a tiff in a relationship that will kind of squash itself out and kind of resolve its own issue without them.
Tiana told me that the police department thought it was a joke. They kind of laughed it off. She asked for a supervisor, and they basically told her, we'll take your complaint.
I'll look into it.
Tiana sees the warning signs, even if the police don't. She asks for a restraining order against James and his aggressive new girlfriend, Jessica.
I didn't think that the cops believed that this was going to be an ongoing situation between James and Tiana.
She was crying hysterically. She was like, Chantel, they won't help me. She's like, they literally won't help me.
She was just scared of what is James going to do next.
Robert?
Hey, what's the matter?
Tiana and Rob took a break so Rob can continue his education down in Virginia. But Rob and Tiana always maintained communication.
He won't leave me alone. He's calling all the time, and he's following me too. I know he is.
Rob's plan was to come back up north to Connecticut and be with Tiana.
This has gone on long enough.
And Rob says, I'm on my way. This is gonna stop.
I'm coming up there.
Something's gonna happen, unfortunately. It could be a fist fight, it could be something physical.
I'll be back up there in a week. Will you be okay until then?
Yes.
Okay. Love you. Oh, and don't plan anything for Valentine's Day. I got something for us already. It's gonna be good.
Okay. Love you too.
Tiana's obsessive ex has her looking over her shoulder and dreading what she might see. Tiana's new boyfriend, Robert, is heading home from college with plans to protect her.
I'll be back up there in a week. Love you.
But will he get there in time?
Love you too.
Hello, ma'am. Could you step outside, please? Just want to have a word with you. Hello.
Yeah, that's her.
Sir, I asked you to stay back, so stay back.
I just want to get my stuff.
What the hell is he doing here?
You should have listened. Now it's too late.
James told the police that Tiana hit him more than once, that she punched him.
Listen, if he can just get his stuff, he'll be out of your hair.
He's not even supposed to be here. Did you know that?
At this point, the relationship was basically he said, she said, and the police didn't know who to believe.
Ma'am, I understand, but I'll be here the whole time. Just let him get his stuff.
Because it wasn't just one accuser. They're both accusing each other.
She was devastated and surprised, but definitely angry that the lies were continuing.
Tiana was never an aggressive individual, but if you put her in a spot, she will fight for herself. There's no ifs and buts about that. Tiana decided to do her own background on James.
I don't believe this.
She found out that he really didn't have that job at Aetna. He was a limousine driver, part-time. He didn't have a master's degree. And he didn't own the house. It was his parents' house, and he was just living there. So all these things came out.
Tiana found out that James had 2 children and that his prior relationship ended badly as well. I believe there were some domestic violence issues with those 2.
There was a past history of domestic violence with James and a previous girlfriend where he did physically assault her and nearly killed her.
She felt like she fell in love with the wrong person, with someone that she really didn't know, you know? It's a lot of information. And it was like every week something new was coming.
Armed with this new information, Tiana goes back to the police, demanding that they take another look at James and his harassing girlfriend, Jessica Banderas.
They started to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together that maybe Tiana is telling the truth.
Police then did records checks and tried to find Jessica Banderas, and they were not able to find her. There was no record of her.
Jessica Banderas, girlfriend of James, did not exist.
The emails were written by James. There was a picture of Jessica that police found. James had grabbed it off the internet, and it was not associated with anyone named Jessica. It was someone else. James essentially stole this picture off the internet. James had made up this fictional character, this fake girlfriend, so to speak, just to get at Tiana.
That was like the revelation of the lifetime we found out that this guy was living a lie.
Dad, I've done everything that I know how to do. I just...
Fearing what James might do next, Tiana turns to her father for help.
She said, Dad, I've done everything I can, and this man won't leave me alone. He won't leave me. He follows me around. He shows up in places where I'm at, and I know he's following me and stuff like that. And so my plan for her was...
I have a solution.
Let's set up the camera system in the apartment.
One camera inside and one camera on the outside.
Tiana was looking over her shoulder during this time, but she had told me that she's not going to let some man run her out of her house, or out of the state, or make her stop living her life the way that she wanted to.
The cameras were pointed at the back parking spaces, the back area, and also the stairs that wrapped around and got to her apartment.
So once I installed the camera system, I know that she was safe as she can be in our apartment. And if anything went bad, we'll somewhat have video of it. We'd get him on video, police would arrest him.
All we have to do is remember. Just make sure it's on 24/7.
The idea was definitely number one for protection. She felt more protected to see who was coming.
So? Very cute. Good job. Didn't think you had it in you. So you guys are leaving to go eat? Yeah. Bye. Robert, when do you get here? I can't wait.
Sorry, babe. I'm not coming.
What? Why?
Can't you tell? I have the flu.
Delaying the trip home means postponing a surprise Robert has been planning for months.
I know that Rob was going to, on Valentine's Day, propose to Tiana.
He said that he was going to propose that night. He said he had a ring to propose that night.
But it also means Robert won't be there to stand up to James, as he promised.
She told me that James was showing up places that she felt like she's seen him. She was letting people know, like, I don't feel comfortable. This guy is definitely trying to intimidate me. She felt like something had to be done. She would cut it off and it would be over.
Sorry.
So on Valentine's Day, Tiana looks at her emails and she finds emails from James Carter. They are from his regular email account, and there was no hiding this time through a fictitious person. It's very direct. These emails are striking because there's a sense of desperation coming out of them, and it uses the term life or death, which is really interesting because he almost sounds like he could be suicidal the way he wrote that.
I still can't believe. To this day, it's a shocker.
Tiana gets out of her car and starts to head toward her apartment door. He was basically lying in wait for her. He has a kitchen knife that he had grabbed earlier. She's running away from him, but he's got her and starts stabbing her. Tiana fell on the back deck behind the apartment building. She landed on her back. She was screaming, and her screams were picked up by that very camera that her dad had installed. She had been stabbed 18 different times. She made her own 911 call.
Hello? My ex-boyfriend just stabbed me to death. My ex-boyfriend.
140 Whiting Street.
140 Whiting Street. Tiana noticed. Oh, yeah. Help me.
Where are you?
140 Whiting Street on the balcony. I'm bleeding to death.
140 Whiting?
Bleeding to death, yes.
140, stay on the phone with me.
No, you're not going to die. You're not going to die. You're not going to die. Okay, I'll be okay.
She was making sure that she gets justice. She knew she was going to die. So she wanted to get that word in, to at least give the police department something to say, hey, I know who did it.
You still with me?
Stop moving, honey.
Hello? You still there?
Stay right where you are.
Hello? Hello? Tiana? Tiana? Hello?
The Lord is my shepherd.
She was going, to meet God and Jesus, and, she was okay with that. And, but I think she was mostly praying because, it's almost like her last words.
For the Lord.
She was pretty much praying that, my life on this land is coming to an end.
An ambulance rushes Tiana to the hospital, but it's too late.
The surveillance camera captured the audio, the horrifying screams, Tiana crying out for help. It picked up the person who did this, the side of his head.
The tape had the footage of the incident. Not the actual stabbing, but the recording of what pretty much took place, and an actual picture of James on the video.
After the murder, James got back in his car and took off. He called his brother and said that he had stabbed Tiana.
They called me a couple times. I missed his call. I finally answered. Obviously, he told me. And I said, "What?"
I killed him.
I said, I'm just shocked to even hear it. To this day, I'm like, for what? I think he just lost his mind and just went haywire.
The charges against James were murder and violating a restraining order, James Carter was found guilty, and he was sentenced to 60 years in prison.
I remember her happy, always smiling, always down for an adventure. She was my best friend in the whole world, so, you know, it was hard. I didn't even realize that my life took a 360 when she left.
She always wanted to do things for the underprivileged. She wanted to fight for the injustice of the underprivileged. That's why we started the foundation. The Tiana Angelique Notice Foundation is a foundation that actually works with domestic violence victims. And we help victims by installing cameras in their homes to prove their cases. She's not forgotten. We did everything that we could do. She did everything that she could have done. It didn't work. So let's try to learn by that. Let's try to let her story be told. Tell it to as much people that will listen to it and understand that it's real.
She really is my motivation and my influence to do good in this world. But that is why, you know, my life has since then been dedicated to just doing the right thing.